Good morning, folks. It's me again. Time to do another video discussing depression and and anxiety and addiction. I want to open with first of all, it's kind of nasty outside and windy and cold, so we're doing this inside. And what you're seeing is the view from my front window of my home. And I hope it suits you. Really, it's not about what we're seeing, it's about what we're hearing and learning, I guess. I just want to, first of all, say, I'm doing this just because I feel the need to do it. I think it's something that, I have to do and can't really resist not doing it. That's about the best way I can put it. I think about it quite a bit, so the only way for me to quit thinking about it is to do these videos and just share my experiences with you. I'm trying to do this without giving you my opinions, because everybody's got an opinion, and so I'm trying to stick to a very generic format, sharing experiences. All right, so I got an opening statement about an experience that took place about, 2 or 3 years prior to me falling into depression and having, serious problems. I was in the break room at work, and I was having a conversation with one of the guys that I work with. I was pretty young, I was in my 30s, and I was really a very arrogant person, pretty opinionated, very arrogant, and pretty stupid, actually. Now I look back on it. Anyway, we're having a conversation about God and religions. And I said, quote unquote, people who go to religions and God are weak. I said that. That was the atheistic personality that I possessed then. Like I told you in the beginning, there was a little bit of influence from my mother, who was a religious person to a small degree, and then my father, who is an atheist, period. He's just flat out said he was an atheist. So I said that. I said, people who need God and religion are weak. All right, so 2 or 3 years later, I'm on my knees begging for God to help me, because I was absolutely desperate. Very desperate, because I had lost control of my mind. I was fixing to lose my job. I'd lost my wife and family. I'd lost everything. Just holding on to my job and my sanity by a string. All right. So, in saying that, I look back on it, and I look back on those times, and, I had admitted to you that I rely on God now, have used religion, used some scripture, used some metaphysics information, and used those things to help me gain control of myself. And I look back on it, and I often think to myself, man, why was I so anti-God? Because today it seems ridiculous to me. And I'm not trying to sell you a bag of rocks that I think are valuable. I'm telling you an experience, and this is the truth. So I look back on my life, I look back on those times, and look back on my perception And I realized that I allowed myself to be consumed by possessions, by arrogance and anger. I allowed myself to be consumed by things that gave me an addiction. Doesn't matter what they were. I'm never gonna, I don't want to tell you what the addiction was, because then that would possibly place a judgment in the people who are listening. Oh, his addiction wasn't this, or his addiction's worse than mine, or his addiction wasn't like mine. No, addiction is the same. It's a controlling substance that you cannot break the habit of using. It doesn't matter if it's gambling, doesn't matter if it's alcohol, doesn't matter if it's pornography, doesn't matter if it's food, doesn't matter if it's drugs, illegal drugs or over-the-counter drugs or whatever. I don't care. If you're stuck using it and you can't stop and you want to stop, and it brings some sort of comfort or relief, and it's an addiction. All right. So I've got a question here. I guess I'm asking it to myself or you so that I can elaborate on it, discuss it. What do we really have that wholly belongs to us as a human being? Think about the question. What do we really have that wholly belongs to us as a human being? Or you can take it a step further, that wholly belongs to us as a human being and as an eternal soul creature. A creature, we are human, and I believe that there is a soul, because the soul is asking the questions. Hey, why am I here? Why do I love? Why do I hate? Why do I even ask the question about existence? Based on this self-awareness. Basically, I'm talking about self-awareness. I can't accept the fact that the self-awareness exists for no reason. Excuse me. So what do we have, man? What do we have that belongs to us completely, wholly? We might possess possessions. We might have possessions, but our death takes them away from us, or maybe our loss of a job takes us away from us. We might think, well, I've got a job. Well, that can be taken away too. Anything perishable can be taken away. Anything that's temporary, anything that we possess in this world. Maybe it's family, maybe it's the wife, maybe it's kids, maybe a home. Maybe you own 5 homes, but but all of that goes away eventually, and we're left with what? We're left with ourself, our being, our existence. That's the only thing that I see that we have. We have our existence. For me, the existence is a permanent thing. It exists, period. I don't know how I got here. Don't remember how I got here. Don't remember the plan, the discussion of how and why I'm here, but I'm here. So when I leave this world, I don't know where I am going. And really, it's a mystery, and I wonder, but I can't accept the fact that it just disappeared into thin air and that's it. There's no reason for my existence. So on my mind, the only thing that I possess is me. And what me is my intellect. What me is what I understand, what I believe in, and what I know. That's what I possess. And I think that continues for eternity, forever. So the reason I am discussing what we wholly possess is so that we can value that. So I value, that's what I value. I value my existence above all of the other things. And that includes that includes my wife, because she's the same. The only thing she really possesses is herself wholly. I mean, yes, we're married and we possess each other, but in the end, I'm dying on a bed by myself. Same with her, same with every individual. I have no idea where that relationship goes beyond. I would love to believe that we spend eternity together, but I have no idea. So I own myself, I possess myself, and I want to value my existence. Instead of valuing things that are perishable, valuing things that I'm going to lose, I place my value on my existence. So because I place my value on my existence, I have made a choice to make it healthy, make my existence healthy, which includes removing the things that possess me. Okay, so I'm turning this around a little bit. If I'm consumed with my possessions, whether it's, I don't care, it doesn't matter, houses, cars, things that I can touch, feel, and see. If I am consumed with my possessions, then my possessions have possession of me. If I can't release or let go, or if I value or live to have more possessions, exist to have more possessions, my possessions own me. I do not own myself. I do not have possession of myself. Okay? So that is a way that I've devalued things that are temporary. Other things that can possess me outside of perishable things is attitudes about things. Say I'm a devout religious person to any particular religion. Now, religions are good. They exist. They're created. They are for understanding where God is and how to find Him. But I could be devoted to religion and practice every rule and tradition that the religion teaches. And if I fall into a practice of, oh my God, I got to do what this religion tells me to do by the written rule, then the question is, does the religion possess me, or do I possess the benefits of the religion? So religion can possess you as well. How about illegal drugs? If I rely on illegal drugs or any type of controlled substance, and I self-medicate with whatever it is, do I possess myself? Do I own myself? Do I have control of myself? No. I've allowed something else to own me, a controlled substance, a self-medicating substance, and it possesses me. I'm owned by it. Let's just say I have anger issues, and I get angry and frustrated over everything. Anything that doesn't go the way I think it should go. So again, I'm in a place where I'm not owning and possessing myself. As a matter of fact, I've written this down in my journal. Anger possesses man. Man does not possess anger. And when a man succumbs to anger over everything, there's times when anger is necessary. But when a man or a person or a woman is angry inside, and that anger boils and festers and stays with them. That anger possesses the person. It could be sorrow, it could be grief, it could be guilt. All of those things can possess you wholly, and leaves you without control of yourself, without possession of yourself. So the goal is to learn about the things that possess you and take control. Remove those possessions that possess you. Remove those possessing things that control you. Overcome them and become self-possessed. I hope that makes sense. For me, it took time, and I didn't even know I was doing it. You know, this is retrospect. This is looking back. All I knew at the time when I was not in control of myself was that I wanted control. And as time went by, this includes therapy and reading and going to church. I did all this. Taking medication. I've slowly come to these new understandings that eventually culminated into what I'm speaking to you about now. I would like to believe, look, I'm not perfect. I know that there's certain things that still I struggle with that have a string attached to me one of the things about depression is that it steers you to a place you don't want to go. That's why I was depressed, because I was constantly being pushed to this place that I kept resisting. Have you ever seen Star Trek where the Next Generation show, they meet the Borg and engage the Borg, and the Borg says, "Resistance is futile." Well, God is kind of like that, I think, without all the evil, evilness that the Borg have. I think he says, resistance is futile, because what does God have that we don't? What's the one thing he has? He has existence in the palm of his hand. He has eternity in the palm of his hand. And we have nothing. We can say, oh, I don't need God. I don't need God because I got my possessions and I got my health and my life. Yeah, right. Well, eventually it's going to go away. And you're going to be wondering, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? Why am I being attacked? And why am I losing everything? And what's not fair? I understand. Some people think, it seems like some people can have and do whatever they want. And they go about their jolly life. And you and I can't. We struggle with all kinds of crap. Seems like we get shit on and screwed and disappointed. And we're like, why me? Okay. Well, it's a waste of time to ask why me. It just is. And once I let go of this self-pity, why me? I can start focusing on, hey, I can help myself. I can have some control of my own existence, and I can make it healthy. And I can gain control of my own life by removing all the things that control my life, that control me. Doesn't mean I have to live an unhappy life where I'm disciplined to the point where I can't love something. No, I still love things. I still love my family, and I still love the possessions I have. I just don't rely on the possessions that I have to bring contentment to my life. In fact, I got rid of a lot of stuff. I used to own a Harley Davidson, a Corvette, a Jeep, a bunch of guns, huge gun collection, all kinds of little things I collected. Just a ton of stuff. And slowly, after I had to express the period of depression, I started letting things go, and people were, I remember my friends and family going, "John, what are you doing, man? I'm cleaning house. I don't need this stuff to keep me happy. I just want to, want to free up my life. So I'm not thinking about thinking and wanting things. That's another possession. How about sex? Sex will possess a man instantly, and he is helpless to it. So that is something to be aware of. I guess women too. Sex is extremely powerful. That desire is tremendous, and you can't. Listen. It's a natural thing. It can't be removed entirely. A man's got to have sexual contact. All right. It's just that you have to be careful. Can't let it control you. Can't let it become an addiction. It has to be pure. There's a pure sexual healthy life. Fortunately, my wife is very willing to help me in that area, and we do fine. Anyway, folks, let me see here. I wrote some things down. How do things possess? I controlled that and covered that. Why do we resist God? Yeah, why do we resist this thing called God? I don't care. God can be... Basically, I call God. God to me is the source of existence. Source of creation. I don't know if he's a big guy up there with a white beard, with his big robe, with his hands open wide, arms open wide, saying, hey, come to me and worship me. I don't think so. I don't see him that way. I see God as a very advanced, controlling, eternal force that may have been born into existence the same way we are. I don't know, okay, but I like to relate to him that way. I'd like to think, hey, he's been there with me, and that he has advanced through the millions of years to what he is now, and he's God. And he's just recreating himself through us. It does say in the Bible, God created us in his image. Makes sense to me. There's all kinds of stuff in Scripture. I've been trying to avoid using Scripture because, I assume you're not reading it, and you don't need some Scripture know-it-all guys telling you verses to help you believe something you believe. So I think I can do this without using Bibles and religions. So that's what I'm trying to do. Speak to you on just a level platform. So anyway, back to the question, why do we resist God yet invite all of this other stuff that controls us, possessions and drugs and sex and attitudes, grief and whatnot. It's kind of stupid if you think about it. We're foolish. We are foolish human beings. We resist God with all our might, and our pride says, you don't need him. You're in control of your life. Yet we subject ourselves to everything everything that controls us. All right, folks. That's all I got today. I'm sorry about the view. Next time I'll try and find something more attractive to look at while I'm speaking to you. I hope I gave you something to think about. Remember, the truth is that depression is beatable, that you can't overcome it, that it's not entirely a bad thing if you look at it for what it is doing to you. And if you are allowing it to steer you to a good place to better yourself, then try to start looking at your depression as a positive. I know that it's horrible and that it feels like crap, and sometimes I still deal with it. But it's always steering me somewhere, somewhere that's better than where I'm at. And I'm thankful for that. I try to be thankful for that. All right. Love you guys. Have a good day. Goodbye.